The Penguin just keeps getting better and better as episode 3 produces something truly great. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. Been enjoying The Penguin so far. I feel like episode 1 was good. I feel like episode 2 was better than episode 1, and now episode 3 has trumped both 1 and 2 with a great episode. So, yeah, let's talk about it. This one was called Bliss. We got to see more of Victor. We started off with a Victor flashback at the beginning of the episode. Victor hadn't even entered the life of crime, but by the end of it, he was pretty much cemented in. He was all in. The chips were pushed into the middle, and Victor was here. So, yeah, really, really good episode. We do begin with a flashback of the fateful election night, where the Riddler basically plants bombs. He blows up the entire city, and this leads to Victor's parents dying. So we see Victor, he goes to visit his parents. His dad's lecturing him about maybe getting in with the wrong people. Victor then goes to see fireworks that night with his girlfriend, Graciela, on the rooftop. But unfortunately, the bombs go off and the entire city gets flooded, and the apartment where his mother, father, and sister live just becomes flooded, and they die. They drown. So, yeah, sad for Victor, but at least we got, a flashback to show what kind of broke him and what, took his family away and led him into this sort of life. So, it was a really good flashback, and honestly, I felt like because Victor was maybe going to be the focus character of this episode, I thought maybe it wasn't going to be that good, but I was wrong. It was actually really good. So, yeah, Victor, really good character, and I mean, I think the show needs that. You can't just rely on Oz to be the only standout character on the show, but thankfully, I don't think we have that in The Penguin. You've got Oz, you've got Hangman, and now you've got Victor, who I think is another great character, so I'm happy to see that. We start off in Oz's apartment then. Oz is updating Victor on his temporary alliance. Sofia then arrives as Oz goes to take a phone call. Sofia starts intimidating Victor. Victor obviously threatened by Sofia because she's got a pretty high kill count. So yeah, he's a little bit worried around her. Oz has planned for Victor to drive him and Sofia to the meet, but Sofia's not having it. She doesn't trust Oz. She says he's going to stay right here. Oz then invites his girlfriend over, and Graciela and Oz are having a hangout. He tells her about this guy that he works for. He lets him drive his car. He lets him hang out in his crib. And Victor is painting this picture of him being like this club boss, this club owner, but in reality he's not really telling the full story. Graciela then offers Victor to come with her. She's leaving. She says there's nothing for her around here anymore, and she says that maybe because both our families are gone, you should come with me. And then Victor opens up and tells her that he can't really do that because of the guy he works for. He's more like a gangster rather than a club boss, revealing to Graciela that he might be in a little bit of trouble. It's at this point where she tells him, well, you should come with me then. That's even more reason to go out of there. Sofia and Oz then arrive at the Falcone's family shipment plants, and we get introduced to this new drug that grows on mushrooms. They're naming the drug Bliss, and it's like some sort of party drug that gives you a massive hit. Sofia is convinced this is the drug that is going to make them a lot of money, and all Oz needs to do is find a distributor. So that is what Oz is planning to do. Meanwhile, Graciela has been begging Victor to come with her, and he decides, screw it. He gives her the money that Oz gave him at the beginning of the episode. Oz decided he was going to pay Victor £1,000 a week. Victor couldn't believe how much money he was going to make, but he gives it to Graciela, and he tells her to buy him a ticket for the bus. So he's going to leave. He's kind of conflicted because Oz is, I guess, been the closest thing to family to him since his parents died. But he can see that, this is a dangerous line of work, and he's going to get the chance to be with his girlfriend, live a good life, an honest life, and maybe, make his family proud of him. So, yeah, he's committed. He's going to do it. Victor then gets Oz and Sofia then pay a visit to the Triads because that's who Oz believes is going to be their distributor, but they seem to have some beef. So the Triads initially look like they're going to kill Oz, but Oz is like, come on, if I really done something bad to you guys, there'd be a bullet in my forehead right now. The Triads tell Oz that he owes them money. He says he doesn't have it, but he's got something better than money. He's got the offer. He's got the bliss. He wants to speak to the main one. He wants to speak to Feng Su, but he's the head of the triads. But in order to do so, the triad underboss will need to receive a phone call for confirmation from Fite as proof. So Fite is obviously the underboss of the Falcons, and they want to hear from him to get confirmation that they are on board, that the Falcons are okay with this deal. And this whole time, while Victor is waiting outside, a cop pulls him over. Well, I say pulls him over, Victor was already stationary. Cop says you shouldn't be parking there. Cop asks if that's your car. Victor's like, it's my boss's car. He then takes money out of Victor's back pocket. He goes, it's a lot of money for a kid your age. But Victor quickly catches on and he says, what money? I don't have any money. The cop then takes his money and lets him go. So Victor here, he just earned a lot of cash, but he's lost it. He gave some to his girlfriend, and he's had the rest of it taken away from him from a cop. So 1 minute he thought he was rich, he had $1,000. The next minute he's left with absolutely nothing. Later that day, Oz and Victor are dining at an upscale restaurant. When Oz orders his food, it's Victor's turn, and then Victor he just keeps stuttering. He cannot get out the steak that he wants to order. The waiter then orders it for him, says it for him, and this seems to annoy Oz, and Oz like, here, give him some time, let the man speak, let the man finish. And it's like, Victor really appreciates this, and you can see here that it is like Oz actually genuinely cares for Victor, and he's showing Victor respect, and that he wants Victor to stand up for himself, and that he wants to be treated. He wants Victor to be treated well. He wants Victor to stand up, be seen, be tall, and let people notice him. So it was nice to actually see Oz stand up for Victor like that, and he asks about his father, he asks about his parents and what they were doing, and Victor tells Oz about how his dad was a mechanic, but he never was able to fulfill his dream of becoming a chef. And it's almost like Oz kind of wants Victor to have what his family didn't. So yeah, we get that. Oz then eyes Fite's mistress, aka Luca, Falcon's wife, dining at a nearby table, and he approaches her, asking for a favour. Shortly after, Oz and Sofia walk into Fite's room to catch him in the act with Luca's wife. So the two blackmail Fite into calling the Chinese guy the underboss, and then they set up a meet with the main triad. And there was also a scene where Oz was pushing his phone into Fite's mouth because Fite was saying that nobody respects Oz, so Oz was like, I'm going to make you respect me, and he started jamming his phone into his mouth, which was pretty good. We then go to the Triad Club with Oz, Sofia, and Eve. They instruct Eve's employees as well as Victor to distribute the bliss, so they managed to get the deal set up. Originally it didn't look like it was going to happen because Sue said that he hated Sophia's father and that he danced when he died, but Sofia said, look, we've got a lot in common. As soon as I got out of Arkham, I danced on his grave. So after a while they managed to set a deal up. There wasn't much trust here, but Oz managed to make it happen, so he managed to talk his way into the deal. Later that night, when the partying's going on, the club's going on, the bliss is being distributed. Victor is carrying it around in the bags. Eve and her employees are distributing it by just flirting with guys, being friendly with guys, coming on to guys, and then telling them to test out this new drug, which they are, and it's doing very well, it's selling well, it's going great. Victor's got a lot of money here. He's in the bathroom. You can see the text though for Grisella. She says, you need to hurry up. The bus is leaving. Unfortunately, at this moment, Oz walks in and he quickly puts two and two together. At first, he's really excited that the money is being made. The deal has been made. But he quickly sees that Victor has got his phone, and maybe he's a bit paranoid. Maybe he thinks Victor is potentially, grassing on him, ratting on him. We don't know. But he pulls the phone and he sees it's obviously his girlfriend. Victor says that he really cares about her. Oz is like, are you stupid? Are you going to give it up for a piece of ass? Victor believes that Oz is probably going to kill him here. But Oz is like, you know what? You were always free to leave. I'm not keeping you here. Then he points a gun at his head and he's like, is this the way you thought it was? Is this the way you imagined our entire time? With me begging you to stay? Oz is like, I ain't begging you to do nothing. You can go. Go be a loser. Go be like your father. Go and accomplish nothing. And this episode, there was like lots of good dialogue between Victor and Oz. Definitely in the earlier parts of episode 2, first half, when just Oz was telling Victor how life's not fair, and you need to make something of yourself because the honest man doesn't make it. You have to get dirty in life in order to be successful. So I mean, there was some really good quotes here. Victor then walks out and Oz lets him go. Oz lets him go. Victor then drives to the bus station. He sees his girlfriend get onto the bus, but he looks around and he just sees people that aren't really successful, people traveling the bus, people that don't have money. And he's like, you know what? I don't know if I really do want this. Things are looking pretty good with Oz. Oz was being nice to me. Oz was, looking out for me, trying to get me to better myself, paying me money. And I don't know if I want to give that up. So Victor decides that he's not going to do it. He just watched his girlfriend drive away in the bus. He could have went with her, but he decided not to. So at this point, he decides to drive Oz's car back to the club. But Oz and Sofia have been taken outside. They've been pulled outside. There's got a gun on them. I mean, first of all, Sofia was just demanding that Oz apologise for what he'd done to her. And we don't really find out exactly what he'd done, but essentially, I guess he ratted on Sofia, and Sofia then got sent to Arkham by her father. Now, obviously, he didn't know that was what was going to happen, or at least that's what he claimed. But yeah, Sofia's not happy because Oz is the one that got her sent to Arkham. So he kind of apologises in Oz's way, but it's not a real apology, so it is what it is. And then they get pulled up by the Maronis. Nadia Marone and her men arrive at gunpoint. She says that she knows that Oz is playing them and that he was never planning to pay them back. So at this point, you got Maroni with a gun pointed at Oz, and when she confirms that Oz is playing them, straight away Sofia must be clicking on and thinking, is he playing me too? Is he using all of us? And does she maybe even question whether or not that Oz is the one that killed her brother? But we don't really get to see what happens next, because Victor comes in, gets his first kill, just drives over one of the henchmen, taking him completely out. Oz then jumps into the car, screams at Victor to get out of here, and they drive off into the night, leaving Sofia behind. And Oz is like, "You really done it now, kid. I knew you would come back." And that is them, driving off into the night with Victor once again coming to the rescue of Oz. So yeah, really good episode. What does this mean though for the partnership of Oz and Sofia? I mean, things looked really good. They're working well together here. The chemistry's great. But just the ending of this episode, has this revealed to Sofia that Oz is playing them all and that he's going to try and betray them all and that he is possibly the one that killed her brother? We'll have to wait and find out. But for the episode itself, guys, I thought it was really, really good. We got to see Victor fleshed out. We got some really good dialogue between Victor and Oz. I really enjoy the Sofia character anytime she's on screen as well. And, it was nice to see Victor have a bit of a romance and to see what his life was like before all he had was this crime. And he had the chance to leave it behind, but he decided that he couldn't do it, or he didn't want to do it. So, really good episode. I'm going to get a 9 out of 10. Fantastic episode. Really tired though, so if I did miss some things out, then I apologise, guys. But yeah, for me, great episode, 9 out of 10. And I am loving The Penguin. Easily the best show so far this year. I think hands down. So yeah, Penguin for me is getting a 9 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.